everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Alumni Connect series. I'm your host, Shreya Chaturvedi from IB Year 2. In this episode, I am thrilled to be joined by Srinidhi Sundar, who has achieved the extraordinary feat of scoring a perfect 45 out of 45 in the IBDP 2024 exams, securing her place among the IB world toppers. Srinidhi's academic excellence has been evident throughout her 12-year journey at GIIS, consistently excelling in her studies, from securing 9 A stars in her IGCSE 10 exams to mastering the demanding IB curriculum. However, Srinidhi's accomplishments extend far beyond academics. She exemplifies the essence of a well-rounded individual, actively participating in school events, demonstrating exemplary leadership skills in various school clubs, and contributing to the community through extensive volunteering with multiple organizations in Singapore. Today, we will explore the experiences that have shaped her, delve into her aspirations for the future, and gain valuable insights from her exceptional achievements. Without further ado, let's begin. Welcome to the show, Srinidhi.
Hi, thank you for the warm welcome, Shreya.
Congratulations on your amazing feat. How does it feel achieving this distinction of being one of the IB world toppers?
Honestly, it's surreal. It's very surreal. It was quite shocking, but I am obviously very grateful for this achievement.
So from what you're saying, clearly you didn't anticipate these results. So what was your initial reaction when you saw them?
I was very shocked because I don't think anyone expects a 45, but more than my reaction, I think my parents' reaction was so wholesome. They were so incredibly happy and proud of me, which felt really good.
That is so nice. I'm sure our listeners here would love to know, how did you achieve this amazing feat? What were some tips and study techniques that you found were most effective for you?
I think with regards to study techniques, consistency is quite important. I believe that, from the beginning of your journey, you should have some goals for yourself, and it might not directly be like, oh, I need to get a 90% in everything. You might start off small. You might start off with, okay, let me achieve a 65, let me achieve a 70. So have some goals for yourself and work towards achieving those goals. Because I remember when I started off IB1, I was in no way getting all 7s or anything like that. But I put small goals for myself, and by the end of it, I did achieve my personal goals. So with regards to study techniques, I think being motivated is quite key, and maintaining good notes, because they do come in super handy by the end of IB when you have so many subjects piling up, so many IAs piling up. Being able to quickly glance back at notes you've made in IB1 would be really helpful, and you would thank yourself for it. And other than that, I think finishing your IAs and EEs as early as possible is also quite important, because it frees up a lot of time for you later on to really focus on your concepts and make sure that your concepts are built up well, and then you can do enough practice accordingly.
The IBDP curriculum is very well known for its critical thinking and its independent research, all the emphasis on these topics. So how do you think this approach to learning has shaped your perspective and your ability to tackle complex problems?
I think it's been really impactful, especially with regards to classes like TOK, like Theory of Knowledge. During that, we explored so many different perspectives. For example, I remember in one TOK class, we were covering indigenous societies, and we looked at the Maasai tribe. I had never known about, these particular indigenous societies or anything like that before. So I think IB really did widen my perspective and taught me a lot about different aspects of the world that I might not have been particularly aware of before. And this has definitely shaped how I think now and how I approach problems, because now I have a more wider and well-rounded perspective on certain issues. And also I think IB teaches a lot of us resilience, because there's been a lot of times when, you know, you've felt very like not motivated and things like that. So the resilience, the critical thinking, the problem solving, the research skills, all of these are really important things that I would not have been able to develop to this caliber without the IB diploma program.
So speaking of all these research and you know, TOK and all that stuff, can you tell us about your extended essay? What was the topic that you did and how did you approach it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think my EE was one that stemmed out of passion, but also was so difficult for me, and like there was a lot of roadblocks on the way, so many issues. But my extended essay was about how Madeline Miller uses feminist revisionist myth making to challenge hegemonic masculinity in one of her novels, Circe. So I picked English because I knew that it is a subject I really enjoy, and I might not get a lot of opportunities to do research in it after the IB program, considering I am pursuing medicine. So I was quite confident about choosing English. However, coming up with the topic was so beyond stressful, and I started it knowing that I wanted to do something Greek mythology related, because it was something I was quite interested in. And funny story, but Circe was actually a novel that one of my friends gifted to me like the previous year when I was in IGCSE for my birthday. And when I was having one of my mental breakdowns about my extended essay, I just looked at the wall, I saw the bookshelf, and I was like, I should do this. But so it was a really interesting topic, but obviously there were a lot of roadblocks on the way in my research process. So I began my extended essay with a comparative analysis. I picked two books, The Penelope by Margaret Atwood and Circe by Madeline Miller. But over the course of the months of doing research, I realized that it was too much for me to accomplish, and so I ended up dropping one of the books, and I completed my extended essay as like an analysis on only Circe. So I think that with regards to research, I would really recommend getting started on it early. For example, I remember during the June holidays after IB1, I read both my novels, I did a lot of annotations, I made a lot of notes, and I did not finish my first draft then, but I had a lot of information compiled on a document, so I thought that was quite helpful for when I actually ended up making my first draft.
Well, to me that sounds like really quite the task. I mean, someone who has no idea of anything English related. But knowing how difficult all these things can be, how do you keep yourself motivated through all these extended essays and internal assessments and rigorous exams and all of that?
If I'm being very honest, I would say it was my lovely friends, because we all were like going through so much, you know, with the like workload and all the things we had to do. So we made sure to keep each other motivated, whether it was just by like helping each other out with like certain subjects that I was weak in or that they were weak in, or whether it was like helping each other out with like, you know, the assignments, or just to be there for each other and give motivation, because having a support system is really incredible. And to be honest, like my friends believed in me a lot more than I ever like believed in myself. So I think that's something that really helped me be motivated, because every day, even though like there was so much to do at school, like coming here, like I was still looking forward to, you know, seeing my friends, and you know, we went through the process together, we went through like IB together. So I think that's something that really motivated me. But other than that, of course, like my career goals and my personal goals for myself, like whenever I was not feeling motivated, like I would think to myself why I'm doing all of this for, and I would remind myself of my own goals and what I want to achieve in life, and that made the process a little easier.
You know, I mean, really the school community is such a great help, whether that be friends or whether that be like teachers or anything. So can you tell me, how did like the teachers help you, and how did they give you all that support that you needed?
Oh, the teachers were amazing. Honestly, I really don't think like I could have achieved all of this without amazing teachers who would make sure that I understood everything that was going on. And I really was not afraid to approach them for any extra help. Like, special shout out to Sonia, my bio teacher, and I was approaching her with doubts like all the time. And even Miss Ash, like I remember during the board season, like when we had that break, I used to have like personal meetings with her where I used to discuss questions with her, and I used to like ask her doubts and help. Like she would literally take personal classes for me when I was so like demotivated. I was like, I have no clue what I'm doing, and she would make sure that I knew what was going on, and that, you know, she was able to support me in whichever way I needed. And also like my Tamil teacher, like Radhika ma'am, like I remember before the board season, because we had our Tamil boards in October, like we would come to school every morning at like 7 a.m. and she would give us worksheets, she would give us so many past papers. Like really all of these teachers, they made sure that we were able to achieve our goals. They gave us all the support we needed, whether it was with resources or, you know, just to be there for us and like support us emotionally, because they also understood that we had so much going on, all the stress. And so I'm really thankful for all the support I've received, to be honest.
No, genuinely, like the amount of times I have went to my teachers regarding my eyes are crazy. I literally went to Anjali ma'am in the middle of her lunch to show her my chemical. I'm like, ma'am, it's not working.
Yeah, I've done
what
the
do I
same.
do? Like in the middle of her lunch, and she's there like, okay, look at the stoichiometric ratio, do dilution and everything. It's actually crazy how school goes so out of your way to support what your talents are and what you need.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, you must have had like your hands completely full of all the extracurriculars that you were doing at school. So how can you like share those experiences and share how the school like supported your talents?
With regards to extracurriculars, my main focus was on volunteering, because it is something that I found out that I was really interested in, and it was really fulfilling for me too. But even with volunteering, like I believe my journey did start with GIIS. I remember like a couple years back, even before IB or even like IGCSE, I went for a beach cleanup that the school organized, and that was when I realized that like, wow, this feels really good. Like even if it was a really small thing, at least I made the world a better place in one small aspect, even if it was just for a couple fishes.
It's just a patch of beach, right?
Exactly. Even if it was just for a couple fishes in the ocean, like having there be no plastic in that place. Like so GIIS did start that journey for me, and I carried it forward externally. Like I volunteered with a few organizations like NKF or like IMH and like St. Luke's near my house and stuff like that. So that was the main like extracurriculars I was focused on, and I think GIIS definitely did support my journey because they also provided a lot of like opportunities for me. Other than that, I'm really proud to say I was a part of the MedVet Club because we organized a lot of amazing and impactful events. Like I remember we organized a breast cancer awareness webinar like pretty early on in IB1, and it made me feel like it was really impactful talking to those people who had gone through such difficult experiences, and it really made me empathize with them. And we also organized a blood donation drive, and we did a lot of other incredible stuff. So I think that's one of the main extracurriculars that I was a part of.
You really sound like you've been doing so much. I mean, how do you manage to balance all these things with your academics?
Okay, so I think the main thing is to prioritize because sometimes you really do need to focus on your academics. Sometimes you realize that, okay, like I've let go, like I have missed out on like this chapter in biology, I need to catch up. So you need to prioritize and realize what is the most important at this particular moment of time and finish that. And also like try to stay true to your commitments. Like if you have committed like at the organization already, try your best to finish that. But remember that like at the end of the day, don't overwork yourself too much. Like plan your time and manage your time properly. For example, I did a lot of my volunteering during the holidays because I knew that that's when I had a lot of free time, and if I started doing like a lot of volunteering during school, I may not be able to focus on my academics, I may not be able to finish my assessments or study accordingly for the exams. So I think managing your time in that aspect is something that I really recommend, and feel free to ask for help from your peers or to your teachers, because I remember even as a part of the club, we would always ask each other for help, being like, right now like I really need to finish this, like I don't really have the time for this, can we split the work or something like that. So I remember that like reaching out to my friends was something I did a lot. It helped me in time management and prioritization. I think those are the three main things that I did to like manage my time and stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, like people are so helpful also. Like when I was doing MUN, it's like I could not do it, so I just told my coach, I was like, can you please do this for me? I need to focus on something. And she's like, yeah, I'll do it. So I mean, they can really like be so helpful.
Yeah.
Going back to what you said earlier about all the volunteering that you have done, I mean, really, you've contributed extensively to the community with all your volunteerings. You did in the National Kidney Foundation. You did an Institute of Mental Health in Singapore. You've even done job shadowing, and you have work experience in the hospital's critical care unit. So can you share these experiences, and what have you learned from these experiences?
I think I've learned a lot of things, to be honest. Like with regards to the job shadowing, of course, it did open my mind to like how interested I am in medicine and how that really is my aspiration in life. But other than that, I really got to connect to people, which I think is so beautiful and so incredible, because there are like so many people in the world going through so many different unique experiences. And I think volunteering and even like the job shadowing was such a great way for me to connect to people, really like empathize with them and think about their perspectives, because a lot of time, like even especially with IB and like how much we have going on, we kind of lose focus on other people or the world, and we're just so like into like, oh my god, how am I going to finish this? Oh, my life is like, it's so stressful, my life is like this, my life is like that. But it's like a breath of fresh air to like honestly like think about other people and connect with other people who are going through completely different experiences. And even if I may not be able to contribute in such a big way, because a lot of my volunteering was things like befriending and simply talking to the person or doing simple games with them. So even if it wasn't so profound, and even if I didn't make such a huge impact, it was really nice knowing that I might have made them happy for one day, or I might have like distracted them during the pain of undergoing dialysis or something like that.
No, generally you saying that you have not made an impact is the most wrong thing I've ever heard, because just to make someone who's so stressed out about their life to smile for even like 10 seconds is quite the achievement. I mean, other than your 45s, I think that is also really something you should put in your portfolio.
That's really
genuinely sweet. So talking about this, how have these diverse experiences helped you boost your confidence and your ability to like express yourself both academically and personally?
I think that these experiences have definitely boosted my confidence to a certain level. I was never the most confident person, if I'm being honest, but a lot of the events I participated in and a lot of the like organizations like I was a part of or volunteered with really did help me like grow as a person. Like for example, like being a part of MUNs or like being a part of GIIS conference, which was like I was a part of the marketing team for that. Like all of these things, like the debate events and stuff like that, really did help me improve my public speaking and become more confident with talking out loud, whether it is in class, whether it's in front of a stage, or whether it's within like the committee and things like that. So I believe that all of these experiences have definitely shaped me as a person, whether it's my confidence or simply my perspective on life.
Yeah. So with all this like confidence that you have now got in your abilities and your dedication to commit to the society and for the societal betterment, what are your future plans? How do you envision yourself contributing back to the society, whether it be through your career or through other like initiatives?
I am really, really excited to become a doctor in the future, because I believe that this career it's just so exciting and incredible to me, because I'm someone who's really interested in the human body, who's really interested in biology, and it's really incredible to me about how fascinating it is. But the thing is, if I was just pursuing biology or something like that, I wouldn't get that human aspect that I crave. I think medicine offers me that really unique intersection between the scientific curiosity and also the human aspect and being able to contribute back to my community. So I think in the future I definitely do hope to contribute with regards to my profession and my career. But overall, I really do hope that I'm able to make a positive impact, whether it's on the world or just a few people, like individuals. Like I really hope I'm able to make a positive impact.
Listening to you and listening to your dedication, I'm sure you'll be able to do that. That is like not a worry for you. So speaking of all these careers and futures, can you please share how your experience with the application process in these prestigious universities, and how did GIIS's like career counseling program help smoothen your process?
Yeah, I think the GIIS career counseling program was incredibly helpful because I remember there were so many events that were going on, like whether it's like the career fairs or the university fairs or just like the alumni talks, because I remember vividly like there would be like seniors who would like come to school and like talk about like, you know, like applying to medicine, like applying to UK universities.
And they leave you like your Instagram and your number. So
yeah,
you can talk
I recently did something like that, so it was really like a full circle moment. But yes, I think the GIS like career counseling program was really helpful because it gave me with a lot of insights into how the process actually is. And like even our career counselors like Leila ma'am and like Seema ma'am, they were always there to like read through your personal statements and like help you out and like motivate you and stuff like that. So with regards particularly to medicine, there are a few different, like there's a lot of things like, you know, the UCAT, the interviews and the personal statement and things like that. So for such a complex process, it was actually made a lot easier with all the help and support I received from the school.
That is genuinely amazing, and that really calms my nerves knowing that I'm looking at UCAT and interviews also.
It's so stressful.
It just relaxes me a little that I can just like rely on GIS right now.
You got this, you got this.
You. So looking at your GIS journey, what stands out as your most significant lesson, and how do you plan to carry it forward into your college life?
I think there are quite a few lessons that I learned at GIS, but if I had to pick one, it would be to stay curious and take the opportunities, because like I thought that the most significant change in my life happened when I started to enjoy learning instead of looking at it as a chore. Because when I started looking at like my subjects like bio, chem, math, like those are all things I was really interested in. Those are all things that fascinated me, and when I started like being excited to learn it instead of thinking, oh no, I need to study this chapter, I need to get like this certain marks in the exam, I need to finish this particular assignment. When I started thinking of it as learning to like develop myself, learning for like excitement and for fun, I was able to get a stronger grasp of the concept. And after that, of course, the stress of the exams and the assessments came forward. But once you have the strong foundation in the concepts, and when you're learning the concepts, you're truly like curious about it. You're truly like learning like, you know, not just for the exam, but in general, that's when your concepts get really clear, and that's when you can do quite well on the exams. And that also helps you with regards to like staying motivated. It helps you like a lot in the future also, because it changes your outlook on academics. It changes your outlook on the way you study. It completely, I think that was one of the most important lessons that I learned through like my years at GIS. And yeah, staying curious and just researching things and learning more about the things you're passionate about. I think being confident,
You keep hearing these things from like your parents and your teachers, like just take it as a passion, take it as a passion. It's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
But like hearing you say that, it's like, you know, you're a real experience. You've been through this. You've just been through this, and the fact that you have done all that kind of like motivates you. That even I can do it.
Yeah,
you can do it.
You can do it. I know you can do it.
That is so sweet. So speaking as like talking about your future, like college life, as you embark on this new journey, new educational journey, what are you most excited about?
Honestly, I'm just really excited to learn medicine. Like, to be very honest, like I previously mentioned, it is like my like passion in life, and I'm really excited to be able to achieve those goals, because I've done a lot over these past few years preparing for that, and like, you know, achieving the results for it, or like doing the extracurriculars, and it's all things I enjoyed doing. But it would be really nice to get that satisfaction of knowing, yes, now I am like pursuing that. It all paid off, it all worked out in the end.
That is so nice to hear. Can you please share some tips and some strategies that our listeners here can use, especially the ones that are preparing for their exams?
Yeah, definitely. So I'd say that I'm sure you guys have heard all the basic tips, like make notes, get your like assignments out of the way. But other than that, something that I found that really helped me was staying calm. I saw a huge difference in how I performed when I realized that I started looking at exams in a different way. For example, at the beginning of IB, I used to be so scared to give every exam. I used to come to school so stressed. The whole way here, I would be thinking about the exam, so scared.
You're in the bus and you're like, okay, mitochondria.
Yeah, like doing the last minute revision and stuff. But for the boards, I promised myself I would not do that, and my friends also made the same promise to themselves. So we would like come here before the exams, and we wouldn't even revise right before going into the halls. We would just talk to each other. We would stay calm. We would like, you know, like have a little bit of fun, and we'd go into the exam hall smiling and laughing. And when I went that way, like I felt like I did so much better. Like when I went into the exam hall, like I know it sounds crazy, I went into the exam halls laughing, but when I did that, the exam seemed a lot less daunting. I was a lot more calm, and when you're calm, you really do your best.
Like you do
you have a really clear mind, and you look at the paper, and even if you don't know a certain question, you're like, it's okay, like I can do the rest of the paper. So that's what I would say, like change your outlook on exams, because like if you go in super stressed, you are going to forget things, you are going to find it difficult, you are going to get demotivated at even like one small 3-mark question you can't do. Like at the end of the day, the paper's a lot bigger than that. So I would say, like obviously the basic tips, like make your notes, like look back on them, be consistent, get your assignments out of the way. But other than that, the main thing that really helped me even after all of these was my outlook.
I think that is so great to hear.
Thank you so much, Shreya, for the opportunity. This was
Thank you
very
so much.
lovely.
No, genuinely, thank you so much for taking your time out with us and giving these valuable insights. I'm sure listeners really gained some really valuable tips from this today.
That's really sweet. And thank you everyone for listening to this like video. I'm sure you guys have all got this, and you guys are all going to do amazing. Good luck.
Thank you so much to our audience for joining us today. Until next time, this is Shreya signing off.